Depending on what the contract is for, there might be, the UCC might come up with what a reasonable time is. Finally, the offeror or the offeree could die or become incapacitated, or the subject matter of the offer could be destroyed before the offer was accepted.
Yeah. Didn't we learn this?
Yes, that was the other one. Yeah. If the offer continues to exist, the offeree can accept the offer. To accept the offer, the offeree agrees to the term the offeror has proposed. Because the offeror has control of the offeror is the master of his or her offer. The offer is made on a take it or leave it basis. If the offeree accepts the offeror's offer, the offeree acceptance concludes the transaction and a contract is formed on the offeror's terms. So I got that. Right, there's a lot of offer and offeree. Okay. In other words, I offer to sell my car for $10,000. If you accept, then there's a contract and it's based on my terms. I'm selling my car for $10,000.
Because you're the one who.
Because I'm the offer, I'm the master of the offer,
Yeah.
and he accepts, therefore he accepts my terms. Where was that? If the offeree finds the terms of the offer unacceptable, he or she can reject the offer and propose his or her own offer, a counter offer. The offeree now has control over the terms of the offer, and the original offeror must either take it or leave it. If the offeror accepts the offeree's offer, the offeror's acceptance concludes the transaction and a contract is formed on the offeree's term. Everybody clear?
Yeah.
10,000, no. Say for 6,000, yes. Now it's on his terms.
Yeah.
The counter offer is on the offeree's term. Everybody clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes the party wishes to change the terms of the existing contract or to correct an error in the written contract. They are now in the post-acceptance phase of contract formation, and they do not have the same flexibility that existed during prior phases.
What is it called? Post?
Post-acceptance phase, which is what we are going to talk about in chapter 5. Right, so chapter 5 talks about the post-acceptance phase. Right. So this is just laying out the groundwork for the next 5 chapters. There's 4 chapters that we're going to go. Okay. And so far everyone's got this pretty cool, pretty good there. So that's good. All right. Although the relationships of the parties can be changed after a contract has been formed, they have surrendered their freedom to contract and must follow often intricate rules imposed upon them by law. So once you get into a contract, that flexibility of what you want to change and do may be difficult, and a law will be applied to as to how to resolve that. Okay. So now, chapter 2, the offer phase. The offer phase is the first chapter of part 2, contract formation. A contract consists of an offer and acceptance. And an offer is made when the offeror or the promisor creates the power in the offeree, promisee, to accept the offer, thereby forming a contract. This power is created when the promisor, offeror, manifests a willingness to enter into a contract by inviting the promisee, offeree, to agree to the promisor's, offeror's terms. Acceptance of the offeror's terms by the offeree forms the contract. Clear? Is everyone clear now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bless you.
It was coming. A synonym for manifestation is demonstration. A manifestation of willingness or a demonstration of willingness refers to the outward actions of the negotiating parties as understood by a third person watching the parties. This hypothetical third party observer is referred to as the reasonable person. And the measure used by the unbiased, non-participating hypothetical observer is called the reasonable person standard. And this is used in all types of laws, because we look at the third party as the person that's looking in and looking to see what's going on between the two.
Yes.
And that person, that observer, usually is the person that would say, okay, what do you think was the offer, and what do you think was acceptance? What do you think was the terms of the contract? Does it make sense to you? All right, so that third person is the reasonable person. And the person standard, the unbiased, non-participating hypothetical law, is a reasonable person standard. The reasonable person standard is an objective standard. Objectivity focuses on taking the transaction at face value. If strangers observe the negotiation, their conclusions would be objective. The strangers would possess only those facts appearing on the face of negotiation and would not be aware of underlying motivations or intent. The manifestation of willingness is evaluated by this objective standard, the reasonable person standard. Both the restatement first and restatement second of contracts use a objective standards for the law of contracts. Early contract cases, however, use a subjective standard. The subjective standard evaluated communications by asking how the person making communication would interpret them, and not how a reasonable person would interpret them. Okay? The meaning of the minds, oh God, this brings back horror in law school. The meaning of the minds concept depends on the subjective evaluation by both parties of the contract. The subjective meaning of the minds has been replaced by the objective manifestation of assent. All right. In order for you to understand that, this is what I learned in law school. This is the reason why this sugar honey iced tea contract one was such a pain in the ass to me. Because you got the offer, acceptance of the offer. I got to like, what the hell, who's what, where? And it wasn't broken down the way I'm bringing it down to you. I'm very cognizant of the fact that I went through this, and if I had a problem understanding it, then I'm pretty sure there are others that have a problem. So that's why I'm stopping, I'm going very, very slow, and I'm asking you guys, if you understand it, yes. If you don't understand it, please, don't let me go forward. I will try and figure out another way of explaining it to you. I think I've been trying to do that, so it makes it easy for everyone to understand. Okay, here's what happens. We change the way we look at agreements and look at contracts. And of course, lawyers did this. As everybody else, you know, in ancient times, if I said to you, I'll give you a bushel of potatoes for a bushel of corn, we spat in our hand, we shook our hand, that was the contract, right? Because there was the contract. There was an offer, there was an acceptance,
and consideration.
and there's consideration. So we shook our hands, that's the contract. Well, the problem was when they used the meaning of the minds, the four corners of the contract, the meaning of the minds was a subjective. And the subjective mind was that the subjective standard evaluate communications by asking how the person making the communication would interpret them, and not how a reasonable person would interpret them. So you would look to my view as to what the hell I was thinking when I was making the contract. Was it really that I wanted your potatoes, or was it just I want to get rid of my corn? I mean, to go into that world is so ridiculous, because it came into play when, again, this comes into play when you're dealing on a different level, higher level. You're dealing with, when it comes to treaties, comes with one country and another. And many wars were started when the lawyers looked at it and said, well, what was it that you were communicating to the other side? If the other side didn't understand your message, then there couldn't have been an agreement. So one of the problems, one of the things that we talked about in diversity classes is communication, how we talk to one another, right? If I'm English and you're Spanish and you're speaking Spanish to me and you're making an offer to me, I'm not going to be able to, unless I speak Spanish and understand Spanish, I'm not going to understand the offer. So therefore, I could be like, I don't want this guy to think I don't speak Spanish. I could say yes, not realizing that I'm getting into a contract with something that I didn't really get into contract with. So you were able to get out of that by saying, well, there was no meeting of the minds, because the communication that was given was done by you purposely so that I wouldn't understand what was going on. All right. The reasonable person looks at it in terms of, is there a clear understanding as to what the parties want? If a person standing on the side looks at this conversation, would they have any problems understanding what the contract is? In terms of that contract with you and I, in terms of potatoes and corn, a person standing on the side would say, yeah, he's offering corn, he's offering potatoes.
Yeah.
That's pretty much clear. That's clear. So the reasonable person standing would say, yeah, that's a contract. That I understand that. I understand the terms. I understand the offer of acceptance consideration. There's no problem.
Yeah.
Right? But it comes to the point where they started talking about all these different areas. Let me give you an example of the offer versus non-offer using a subjective standard. This is the subjective. This is the one where you have the meeting of the minds one. Facts. We sell peas at 35 cents a pound. The offerer's perception of the fact. Offer. Offer versus non-offer using a subjective standard. Under the offerer, that's an offer. Under a non-offerer using a standard, it's an offer. The offeree's perception of the fact. On the offerer, it's an offer. On the non-offering using substandard, it's not an offer. All it is a statement. We sell peas at 35 cents a pound. Okay. So that's how much you're selling. It doesn't mean I'm buying it.
Yeah.
All right? So it's just, okay. Conclusion. Under the offer, it's an offer. Under a non-offer using subjective standard, it's not an offer. Does everyone understand that? Did I lose anybody? Okay? Because the fact is, we sell peas at 35 cents a pound. It's just a statement as to how much I'm selling peas. There's no offer
To me.
You're just
to
making a
you.
statement.
Yeah.
So, but if you accept it as an offer, then you say, yeah, okay, I'll buy a pound. Well, then you're gonna pay 35 cents for that pound.
That's different. Yeah.
Okay? If you're not looking at it as an offer, but you're just looking at a statement, then the subjective person says, well, that's just a statement, that's not an offer. Okay? If you are a person, again, the conclusion would be that it's an offer. So if you said, I'm offering, well, we sell peas at 35 cents a pound, you said, I'll take it. Because you're looking at it as an offer.
That's it.
Yeah.
Has everyone got that?
Yeah.
That's subjective. In the objective, it is the third person looking at that statement and looking at what the offeree is thinking, is saying. What's the conversation? All right. Under an offerer and non-offerer using objective standard. The offer perception of the facts. This is the offerer's perception. under offer and non versus non-offer. Under offer, it's an offer. Under non-offer, it's an offer. Under subjective standard, it's an offer. Under the offeree's perception of fact, under the offer, it's an offer. It's not an offer and not an offer. The reasonable person perception of the facts. You know what? Let me go down this way. Let me go this way. Let me go straight down. This way makes it easy. If the offerer perception of the facts is an offer, and the offeree's perception of the fact that it's an offer, the reasonable person's perception of the fact is, if offer, then it's an offer. The objective standard is if the offerer perception is that it's an offer, the offeree's perception of fact is not an offer. However, if the third person looks at it and says, if an offer, then there's an offer. Okay? In the other situation is, again, the offer perception of the facts that it's an offer. The offeree says, not an offer. If the third person, looking at the reasonable person, looks at that and said it's not an offer, then it's no offer. Get it?
Get it.
I'm going to go back over to the other one again. The subjective standard is if the offerer perceives it as an offer, if the offeree perceives it as an offer, it's an offer. If the offerer perceives it as an offer, if the offeree perceives it as a not offer, it's not an offer. If you're not meeting the mind.
Yeah.
Okay? With the objective standard, you can have it so that the third person is the reasonable person will look at it, well, was it reasonable for that person to perceive it as an offer or not offer? Right? And you can do that based upon, usually it's based upon what did the offeree do? Did the offeree says we sell peas at 35 cents a pound. If the offeree just turned and walked away, then the reasonable person is saying that's not an offer. That wasn't an offer.
Yeah.
Therefore, no contract. Well, no, there's no offer. There's no offer. That was just a guy just saying, you know, it's like if you went to a store and said, how much is the pickles how much is the sliced ham per pound? Oh, it's 85 cents a pound. Okay. Did you offer to buy it?
No.
Then you're just inquiring as to how much does it cost. That's what they're saying. So the reasonable person would say, okay, what did the offeree do? Did the offeree actions manifest that there was in fact an agreement, or is he manufacturing, or as they call it, the demonstration of willingness? Okay? My demonstration is, all right, 35 cents a pound. All right, give me a pound. Now we have a contract. We have an offer. I accept the offer. To me, that was an offer.
Yeah.
I accepted that offer. I understood that was an offer. I accepted. And the consideration is, I give you 35 cents, and you give me a pound apiece. All right? Did everyone follow this? Did I lose anybody?
No.
Some people were like kind of nodding. I know it's kind of warm in this classroom. And this is the part this is what I'm saying. This is the part that drove me crazy, because it makes sense, but it didn't make sense to me. And like, you know, why the hell? I mean, come on, why can't it be so simple? You know, really, did you offer him? Yes. Did he accept? Yes. And it's a contract. What's the big deal? What's the big deal about? Well, you know, as we talked about, well, there's got to be a meeting in the mind, the sharing, and I understood that later on. I understood about that because it's done on a much higher level. Because law school is not only training me to deal with everyday individual people, it's also training me to deal with kings and queens and nobility and heads of state. It's dealing me deal with, because a contract is not only a treaty, is also a contract. A pact between nations, those people who make, who are ambassadors to countries. You are making contracts with people and countries. And if you don't understand this, you can get into big trouble. The countries can get into trouble. There have been wars because the contract, the offer was not clear to the parties. And I had a professor, Myers McDougall, probably one of the most brilliant persons I've ever met. But he was strange. This guy was, he taught jurisprudence. Myers McDougall was the man that persuaded President Harry Truman to drop the bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II. The Oppenheimer, the Manhattan Project came up with the bomb.